the one-year anniversary, I guess you could say, of the $787 billion stimulus bill, which has since been revised. It is now up to $862 billion.
Well, more than $130 million of that money is leaving the country. Where is it headed? 3 tiny islands in the Caribbean, the U.S. Virgin Islands. Our Jim Acosta traveled to this tropical paradise as part of our ongoing effort to uncover where your stimulus dollars are going. Jim joins us now from Washington with an AM original. I'd like an assignment like that, Jimmy.
I was just telling our folks here in Washington, it makes up for a lot of those assignments where you stay in hotels that people typically rent by the hour, but I'll go no further on that. Now, John, the stimulus is now 1 year old, and you can find stimulus money in all 50 states. But did you know taxpayer dollars are also going to stimulus programs in U.S. territories? Take the U.S. Virgin Islands. While we were in St. Thomas on a different assignment, we saw those green and orange stimulus signs and started doing some digging of our own. Nicknamed America's Paradise, the U.S. Virgin Islands are riding a wave of federal tax dollars these days. The 3 islands that make up this tiny U.S. territory are slated to receive more than $130 million in stimulus money. The territory's governor, John DeYoung, says the islands are entitled to the funds.
We've been part of the United States since 1917. We are furthermost destination within the Caribbean, so this really does help us to a very large extent.
You're Americans.
We're Americans.
Shaquille Bruno and Isaiah Thomas are looking forward to the new stimulus-funded sidewalk that will be built outside their high school in St. Thomas. The school got a visit from President Obama during the 08 campaign.
Be safer for the children walking home up the hill.
Whoa, look how hot the sun is.
And TV ads in the islands urge residents to apply for $8 million in Energy Department grants to buy stimulus-funded solar hot water heaters. The territory's leaders say the stimulus is creating jobs.
They're manufacturing solar hot water heaters in the territory, which is something we've never done in the past.
But the government stimulus website shows of the $19 million received by the Virgin Islands so far, 152 jobs have been created, about $127,000 per job.
What the stimulus has done is it has alerted the American people to how government works in general. Because the money went into existing programs, people are beginning to understand how many of them simply don't work that efficiently.
Even in Paradise, there's a debate over how the stimulus is being spent. Last year, the territory's legislature passed a bill requiring the governor to disclose exactly where stimulus dollars are going. The governor vetoed the legislation.
So the territory's legislature overrode that veto last June. Still, 6 months later, during our visit in January, the governor had not produced one stimulus report.
He's not complying with the laws.
Not in compliance with the local law in regards to submitting a report.
My veto of it was in no intent not to share information.
Since our visit, the governor has complied with the law and issued that report. In the days ahead, he says he hopes to increase the Virgin Islands' share of the stimulus to $250 million.
What would you say to folks on the mainland who wonder about $250 million going to Paradise?
Well, Paradise needs it. I mean, it really does, one, help us to be able to accommodate the over 2 million Americans that we get every year in terms of tourists to the island.
The stimulus has reached these islands. Critics say the program is still lost at sea.
We should note, after we turned our cameras off, one Virgin Islands senator told us our visit did prompt the governor to issue that report. And in case you were wondering, the Virgin Islands are nowhere near the biggest stimulus recipient among U.S. territories. Puerto Rico will get over $2 billion in stimulus money. That's more than nearly 20 states. Johnny Karen?
That's a lot of money. But
That's a lot of money.
You know, if, as you said, they're Americans, I guess they're entitled to it, right?
They are Americans, and they will point that out to you if you bring it up. They feel they're entitled to this money just like any other state in the country.
All right, Jim Acosta for us this morning. Great story. Thanks, Jim. 44 minutes after the hour, Rob Marciano is going to have this morning's travel forecast coming up right after the break.
And coming up in 10 minutes, an AM House call. This is going to be fascinating. Dr. Sanjay Gupta with the mystery surrounding the death. They now know they've been able to do some advanced testing and